Good morning. Welcome back to Breakfast Television. Get caught texting or talking on a handheld while driving. And as of this morning, the fine almost doubles to $280. But that could skyrocket now to $1,000 and demerit points if new legislation passes. Now, this morning, Toronto and Durham police are holding distracted driving blitzes. York Regional Police did yesterday. And at Queen's Park, legislation introduced to bump the fine up to a full $1,000 and add 3 demerit points for anyone caught texting or talking on a handheld while they're behind the wheel. The Liberals hope to pass the law this spring, but need at least one opposition party to support it. The new fines and demerit points would also apply to drivers who open their car doors on cyclists as well. Sergeant Dave Woodford from the OPP is here now to talk about the new fines and perhaps about the pending legislation. Morning, Dave.
Good morning. How are you going?
I am well. So this, we all still see it. We still see driving along now. It's blatant. People driving along like this all the time. People obviously are not getting the message.
They're not getting the message, and that's why these fines are being increased. Hopefully that's going to work. And I was glad to hear that the demerit points are going to be put in place as well.
That's right. Up until now, we have not heard about demerit points. Well,
that's right. And that seems to be a deterrent for a lot of drivers, is those demerit points. And they watch them ever so closely. I remember back when I was in the courts, that would be the one thing. Are there any demerit points? Are there any demerit points? And so, but people don't realize that with the insurance companies, they don't look at just the demerit points because they eventually go away after a period of time, like 2-3 years. So they will go away. But the insurance companies will look at the number of convictions now. So they're looking at your driving abstract, and they could see, oh, you've got 5 previous charges, let's say for speeding or for distracted driving, and your insurance rates could go up. So they're not just putting everything on those demerit points.
Let's talk about the practicality behind this right now. We know that wearing a seatbelt, it's been proven it saves your lives. Yes. Therefore, that's why we have that law. We have this distracted driving law for a reason.
Right.
Why?
Well, if you look at the number of deaths that we're seeing that are related to not just the distraction, but any kind of inattentiveness out there on the roads, people are not focusing. We're seeing a lot more vehicles on our roads, and they're doing too many other things in those vehicles. And so this is why this legislation came into play, because so many people are on their cell phones texting while they're driving and they're not focusing. And then you can go to the more extreme. People are getting involved in collisions. I'm not going to charge a driver for being on their cell phone if they're involved in a collision. They're going to be charged with careless driving, or if there's injuries or death as a result, they're going to be charged with a criminal offense, criminal negligence causing death, not the cell phone charge.
And I've also heard too that, and you can tell me if this is right or wrong, that in some cases police will actually go and search your phone records if you claim I wasn't on my phone, I wasn't doing any texting or that.
That's part of when we bring in our reconstruction officers for a fatal motor vehicle collision, and we're trying to determine the factor of that collision. They can download, or they'll get a warrant. They have to get a warrant to get that information, as well as, you know, they can put the time that you might have been driving, but then they have the black box that are in a lot of the cars now, and they'll download information from those vehicles, and they can put the two of them together, showing that at the time of the collision, you're on your cell phone.
I also understand in some jurisdictions that there's talk of possibly charging the person on the other end of the phone if they know someone is driving. I've heard of this in some jurisdictions, not yet here in Ontario, but if you call someone while they're driving or text someone you know is driving, you possibly could face a conviction as well.
But how do you know if they're driving at the other end? You know,
that would be the
you have to look at that, and I think that would be an issue in the courts. Someone would go in the courts. You know, we had our distracted driving campaign last week. Over 2,000 charges laid in a week on OPP patrolled roads. So the message is not getting through at the $155 range. So we're going to have to try something else, and you know, if it means stiffer fines and points, then hopefully that's going to work.
All right. Let's hope it does. Let's hope people do get the message. Thanks for coming in, Woody. Appreciate it. All right. By the way, month until his retirement as well. He's a good friend to us here at Breakfast Television.
You're taking my spot?
Why not? I look good in a uniform. Let's check. I could run some red lights too, couldn't I?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go. Let's go upstairs. Here's Russ Oldham.